In this video, we're going to show the setup and use of CCN's FP12 circuit board probe. The FP12 is a 12 gigahertz probe suitable for aggressive probing of circuit board pads with an adjustable ground tip. We're going to attach it to the probe bracket of a Probe Ranger probe station. However, the enclosed screw should attach it to pretty much any conventional probe station mounting bracket. In the Probe Ranger bracket configuration, if we mount it at the edge, one of the two edges, we're also given an additional degree of flexibility because we can rotate the probe around its mounting screw to attack the board at different angles. For this application, we will tighten it in the forward position, being careful not to over-tighten the mounting screw too much. With the FastProbe connected to the bracket, we're now going to connect the test port cable. The FP12 has an SMA cable connector for the top, but it will mate with SMA cables, 3.5 millimeter cables, or 2.92 millimeter cables, also known as K cables. You see that I'm actually touching the connector and the probe with my hand. I'm strapped in with my other wrist with an ESD protection strap to make sure that the probe is at the same potential as the instrument before making the connection. I'm going to finger tighten, in this case a 2.92 millimeter cable to the top of the probe, and then I'm going to use two wrenches. One wrench is going to hold on to the body of the gold connector at the top of the FP12, and I'm going to use a second wrench that came with the network analyzer I'm using to tighten the cable to the prescribed torque for the 2.92 millimeter connector. Now we can manually position the probe close to the launch pads of the device or line that we are going to test on the circuit board. I've manually slid the probe to a gross position over the pads. Now I'm using the XYZ positioner to again slightly move the probe and get it close to the pads before I go to microscope view. On the Probe Ranger, I move in the USB microscope camera and then look at the image on the computer screen, and with the computer screen I can refine the position to the pads. In this case we have a ground contact to the left and a signal contact in the middle of the probe. We're going to make a connection at the very end of this line. As the probe drops, you'll see that it skates forward a little bit. That's necessary to make a good electrical connection and connect through any oxide that's at the top. If that ground pin hadn't been adjusted quite right, I'll use the flat tweezers that come with the probes to make the adjustments. And that's how the probe is set up, ready for network analyzer measurements or signal measurements.